I know I've already met Nick, but I can meet him again. I don't mind. I know I've already met Nick, but I can meet him again. I don't mind. Meet him again. I don't mind. No, Alan, put your wallet away. Meet him again. I don't mind. No, Alan, put your wallet away. Meet him again. I don't mind. 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 Put your wallet away. Put your wallet away. Put your wallet away. Put your wallet away. I know I've already met Nick, but I can meet him again. I don't mind. I know I've already met Nick, but I can meet him again. I don't mind. I know I've already met Nick, but I can meet him again. I don't mind.
Good morning. Well, unfortunately, I'm flying solo again because Alan, yet again, has decided to go on a massive bender after Tottenham's terrible performance at the weekend. So yeah, it's just me. Just gonna have to talk to myself. I can be Barry, and then I can talk to Ranjit, then I can talk to Dr. Leg, then we have to talk to all these characters today. Nah, I'm only joking. Here he is.
Good morning, people.
What they want.
Well, at least Tommy, anyway.
Wow, Tommy. We hope you're feeling better, mate. After your week of it was comparing. I thought watching you last week, mate, was like listening to Al's life again. You know, who the top trumps of medical issues. How you doing, Al?
Yeah, I'm not too bad this morning, bro. Not too bad.
Good.
Poor weekend, but that's how you feel after being a Spurs supporter, don't you?
Well, It was never going to be easy, was it? It was never going to be an easy ride.
No.
But yeah, Alan, just before we get started, it's you wanted to wish someone happy birthday today.
Yeah, even though he left us a long time ago, it would have been my dad's 92nd birthday today. So we lost him 21 years ago. So Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Yeah, happy birthday! Absolutely. So yeah, before we get on to the shower of what's-its that we had to witness on Saturday, what did you get up to over the weekend, Al? Apart from whoring yourself out on various YouTube channels because me and Rez couldn't.
I didn't actually get on any. I only went on Spurs Eurasian, different to what Rez did. Me and Rez were on Tommy's on Friday night, so that I made my debut, so I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Went on Spurs Eurasian yesterday just for the fact that, no disrespect to Eugene, but I just wanted something to do, so I thought get in there and talk to the fellow Spurs people,
Yeah, and was Lewis back for the weekend? He'd come back, or what?
Yeah, Lewis come back Thursday night, but but they had a weekend away booked, so he ain't coming back till later today.
Yeah.
So and then he's straight off back onto a train up to Brid, and then he's coming back down for my birthday in a couple of weeks when I go on the Tottenham tour.
Awesome. So, and when's the next game you're going to?
I'll be there for the Leicester game on the 1st of May.
Cool. So yeah, let's just get into it because otherwise we're gonna, talk about Saturday's game. Interesting fact. I think ever since we started 12, we've played 12:30 kickoffs. I think we've only won 30% of them. So that was always going to be in our. For whatever reason, whether they're not awake or I don't know what the reason is, we got one of the worst records for a 12:30 kickoff.
Well, they did look like they played without any sleep, didn't they? They looked like they just got home from the night out because there wasn't no energy, there's nothing there.
No,
nothing there at all.
I mean, it was set up perfectly, right? So the sun was shining, the ground was full. There was a great buzz around the place, and yes, I mean, it was probably the first. There was very, very, very. I can't even speak this morning. There was rarely any empty seats, and I actually had to sit in my seat for a change. So probably the third time this season that I was in my
Oh,
seat because the ground was full. But we had a big shout out to Ben Kaufman. Obviously, we went there the before the game to go and have some delectable coffee before there to fire us up. It certainly helped me getting up those 4,000 steps that I had to get to the top of the northeast corner.
you won't have that trouble when you play Arsenal. You'll be getting a lift up, mate.
Well, there we go. Well, I won't have that trouble getting out. It'd be all kicking right off. But no, yeah, Tottenham 0, Brighton 1. Yeah, I mean, what were your thoughts, Al? Just kind of briefly before we get into the players.
Well, my brief views were, I think a lot of people have taken away what Brighton put into the game. Yeah, they used some tactics that were not very, going down, laying down a little bit longer than taking time out of the game. I mean, if the referee had put 8 minutes on at the end of each half, it would have mattered, because that's what Brighton were doing. They were wasting time every time they got a slight tingle. I think we were very lucky. Both teams were very lucky to have a man on the field by the end of the day. I thought Kulusevski could have gone easily, and I think their player Empuri, he could have gone on 2 of the tackles. So yeah, it was. I think, as I say, you can't take any credit. You've got to give some credit away to Brighton. They nullified us. They literally. This is in my view. They literally done a high press, and they pressed us so high that they didn't allow our fullbacks to get out. Because we needed them to be able to pass around, and we just couldn't get around them.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me that. I mean, yeah, okay, Brighton high press, but I also think that our wing backs were just sat on the coattails of the centre backs. Reguilon, there was a number of times when he was just literally stood next to Ben Davis, and Royale the same. He was just next to Romero, and we couldn't get out. The other thing is that they had obviously 3 in midfield against R2 of Bentancur and Højbjerg. I think the other thing, having looked at it back as well, is that although the decisions weren't going for us, we kind of got more involved in, surrounding the referee. I don't think there's a game where I'd seen, us surrounding the referee, more times than I can remember.
Yeah.
And, yes, I think, I think it was an interesting decision to put Greg Pawson as referee based on his reaction at the man after Harry Kane scored that goal at the Etihad. But he didn't have a good game. I think he was blowing up for tackles that weren't fouls, and he was letting things go that should have been fouls, if that makes sense. And look right. I think for me, if Cucurella goes down holding his face, Kulusevski's sent off and gone for 3 games. Yeah. Similarly, Mwepu, the second challenge where he trod on, I think it was Højbjerg's foot.
No, the second one was he took what's the name head off, Davis's head off. I
don't think so. I think that was a 50-50 looking back on it. I don't think there was anything in it. But I think the third one, which was the other stamp on the foot. Yeah. If he hadn't been a yellow card, he would have been booked for that. So I guess. Yeah. I guess the referee kind of probably let that go because he let the Kulusevski one go. There was the intent there from Kulusevski. There was, and okay, he didn't catch him so much per se in the face. But if Cucurella had gone down holding his face, then I think that would have been, I definitely think we got away with one, and I think that maybe played into his hands. I think, the time wasting. I think all of it just contributed to us getting kind of on the team's back, and the crowd was very restless, just because they were taking a minute or so to take throw-ins, and especially towards the end of the game, they were going down and then getting back up, breaking the game up.
I must admit, though, I mean, don't get me wrong, Reguilon had 2 throw-ins where it took him an age to get rid of the ball, and you think, what the hell, I think the only throw-in I remember taking quickly was the one that Kane took.
Yeah, there was no urgency. But look, I think the one thing that I take away from this is that not everyone to kind of go mad. Obviously, I've seen a lot of things. The players aren't good enough. I think we know that, but we can't do anything about that until the summer. They always, just when you think there's an opportunity, we got lucky with the Arsenal result afterwards. We were, and again with Man United, they another Cristiano Ronaldo. I wouldn't say masterclass because everyone was waxing lyrical about that free kick, but yeah, I don't think that free kick was anything special. I think Krul should have done better with that. But look, we got away with it. It was almost like a free hit, and we move on. But I don't think we need to. The thing that I feel like at the moment is if Spurs play badly and the results aren't there, that everyone seems to turn in on each other, and rather than just it is what it is. We can't go. We were never going to go and win the rest of the games for the rest of the season. There was the last few games, especially at Villa, there was the warning signs.
I mean, with Villa, we could have been sort of 3-1 down at half time very easily if they put their chances away.
I think it's just we put it to bed. We go again. We're going to play a Brentford team that are on form. 3 wins in a row. Obviously, there's the Eriksen factor, but we just need to we just need to wait and see and just focus on ourselves. I think we've got Liverpool and Man U, Arsenal and Chelsea playing in the week, then Arsenal and Man U playing before us on Saturday. So, I mean, I'm not worried about Arsenal. I think they're in a rut. And I think it could be 4 or 5 losses before, they get to the end of the weekend.
Well, I actually watched their game just through boredom. I watched the game. And to be honest with you, it's like first half was 50-50, so it could have gone either way. The second half, and then they got the goal right at the end, Southampton. And then it was literally piling on Southampton trying to hit them on the break. Southampton could have had another couple, but Foster made some really good saves, but I wouldn't say sort of like I think some of them were made to look better than they were, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, a bit like Hugo's the other week at Villa. There was probably 1 or 2 of them that were were good, but ultimately he's there to save the goal. I mean, I think the only one really, I think for me that Forster did was that one from Saka that he the one from Saka where he came across and he just flicked it over. I think the rest of them, yeah, you're right. They were made to look, but that's what goalkeepers there to do, right?
Yeah.
So let's get into the players. So I'll start with Hugo. I mean, I didn't, again, there wasn't really, he didn't really have much to do. Ben, watched their game through boredom, came out more bored. Al's life. Brilliant, Ben, brilliant.
Thank you, Ben.
For me, Hugo, again, he didn't really have much to do. Again, it was worrying with him, I guess in terms of his distribution. Again, that still worries us all, I think. But I thought he could have done better with the goal. It pinged around a bit and kind of they got loose. He went to protect the near post, but ultimately, like all good strikers or forwards will do, you go to the opposite post to try and create that angle, and that's what Trossard did. And I think he just kind of he went with
it with his feet rather than trying diving to save it, trying to dive.
I think he was more worried that he was going to try and go near post and then didn't think about the far post. So yeah, for me, not a great game. But yeah, that he could have done better. So, what did you think of Chicken Royale that Emerson's been called on some streams?
Good
Here we
morning.
go.
He's made his
Good morning. How are
debut.
we?
He's
How
breaking
are
his
we?
debut. I'm good, Mark. How are you?
I'm fine. Well, the weekend happened, didn't it?
Yeah, the weekend happened.
Yeah. At least Arsenal lost. That's one good thing. It was
Well,
sort of a
exactly.
free hit, wasn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mark from Tottenham Town from Gold is making his debut. So welcome, Mark. So yeah, we're just talking about Emerson. So take Emerson for us and let us know what you thought on Emerson's performance.
He didn't really do a lot, did he? Well, the whole team didn't really do a lot. It was just, well, when they brought Winks on in the second half, I thought he was already on there, the amount of sideways and backwards passing that was going on. I thought he was on from the start because do you think that Brighton sort of showed the rest of the teams what they got to do to stop us? Because I certainly did. I certainly did.
To be honest with you, Mark, at the end of the day, a lot of teams have tried it, but even because like Man City do that. Man City do a high press. The only thing was against Man City, we managed to pass it through the pass. We managed to break that high press. The worst, I tell you something, the worst passing display. I mean, I say, this is where I could do with a Will Stewart and having some stats up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether any of our players really had more than a 50% passing accuracy.
No, it was just too slow, wasn't it? It was slow all the time.
Slow, and when they did pass it, they passed it to a man that was marked. I mean, the few times that Sonny got involved, they passed it to him. He had two men around him, and he was getting clattered. I didn't think it was just a very poor performance and a very good performance from Brighton.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was a good performance from Brighton. I just think it was just awful. I mean, they didn't exactly play fantastic either, the way that they were playing, but they just did what they needed to do.
I think it was a case of if they'd had better like their final ball had been better, I think we could have been in trouble, big trouble in the first half. Because there was times where sort of like Trossard and is it Gross? They went to put a ball in, and so all of a sudden they put it into an area where no one was waiting, and the area was quite packed. And I thought, got away there.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, Emerson. I mean, on some of the looking at some of the reviews, that he said he was probably one of our better players, but better players in what was there. I mean, look, I think when you look at it, that everyone had when Kane, Son, Bentancur, and Romero aren't having great games, then the rest there's no one there that's kind of going to take the ball by the horns and say, let's do it. And that's why I think it looked a bit sluggish, because no one really wanted it, And I don't understand. I don't understand why. We just 4 on the bounce, scoring goals for fun. 13 goals at home in the last 3 games, and then just kind of nothing. And it was just that. I think that was what for me, that was a disappointment, because the crowd was buzzing, the sun was out, bank holiday weekend, and then it was just kind of, we were just afterwards, we were like, Phew. What do we do now? Should we go home?
If you had to give a man in the match out of our team, which was very hard to do, it was one of our defenders, because, as I say, they're the ones that stopped them scoring more goals in the first place. It's Brighton's, but I think it was more of a case of Brighton not taking their chances than being shit themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, Romero. I thought Romero played another solid game.
He's always solid. I'm not sure he's
I think
ever had a bad game, is he?
He was part of the little bit of a mix-up that led to the goal. Him and Dyer, but
but honestly, the team just looked flat. our team. They were just flat. There was no urgency. It was, you saw, I mean, normally it's one touch passing, 3 or 4 passes and we're through.
Yeah.
You know, or a flick on by Harry and Son's through. But there was none of that. I mean, you saw him passing it about and it was going like Dyer to Davis to Romero. And it wasn't one touch. They were controlling it and then trying to find somebody.
Yeah.
It was too... I honestly think it's the where we play on a Saturday dinner time. I don't think we like it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, a game's a game, isn't it? You should be up for any time.
Yeah, especially the way we've been playing and what's at stake. You know, it's not like we're on the table and we can't go anywhere.
When we batted Leeds when we beat Leeds 4-0, it was an early kickoff. But they had to travel and everything and sleep in the hotel, blah blah blah.
So I guess go on, Mark.
Well, we were all sending our on the shows that was on. We was all sending in our predictions. I think I went for 5-0.
7-0,
6-0, 7-0. Yeah.
I only went 1-0 Harry Kane 96th minute, but then I've only been doing that since ever.
It went the other way round. Now it was Brighton in the 90th minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if we look at the defence, and I guess we take them kind of all at the same. I think for me the issues were the wing backs and you know, jumping to Reggie. I think for me was, I don't know whether he's checked out, whether he knows he's going in the summer. But you know, I mean, okay, he had that opportunity where Højbjerg pinged the ball across the 6-yard box and he came sliding in, but he wasn't there. But yeah, I mean, he was just, you look at his heat map and majority of it was halfway inside our half. And he was, you know, he was slow, he was sluggish, he was, you know, he's trying to play balls, but trying to play balls with people next to him. And he wasn't, you know, the fullbacks weren't playing high up. And okay, you can argue that they were pressing, but if we then force them back by playing with the you know, with the fullbacks higher up, then that creates a bit more space. And we just didn't do that. And you know, who would have thought we'd be sat here 4 or 5 weeks ago saying that we're missing Matt Doherty? You know.
Did we have a heat map in their half?
No, I mean, I think I saw one of the things where the actual passing was just above the, you know, majority of the passes were just above the halfway line, and it was always backward and sideways. It was, very strange. And so for me, I mean, I don't know, Reggie. I would have been tempted to play Cess at right wing back on Saturday. Where he used to play there for Fulham. And okay, you could argue that, you know, they're going to know what's going to happen with Kulusevski cutting in, Cess cutting in, but I think it would have given us a little bit more oomph up the pitch, if that makes sense. Because there were still times when even though Romero was Royale was stood next to Romero didn't want to pass the ball to him. You know, Ben makes a good point about Reggie, and that he's been poor since his injury and probably since playing in the back four. Yeah, absolutely, Ben. I think the trouble is that he does, but you know, Davis, Dyer, and Romero don't. So I guess it's the lesser of two evils.
Weird thing with Reggie, though, you think because of his pace, because he's got good pace, you think wing back would suit him more, even though when he was at Seville, he was a back four. So, you know, but he's got good pace. So,
what did you think of Bentancur and Højbjerg together, the two in the middle, Mark?
They were all right, but it's the whole team basically did nothing, you know, and so to sort of pick them out, no one really did nothing, did they?
No,
nobody. You know, and I thought that Bentancur looked a bit injured because he had a knock in training.
And that's the thing. So there was rumours circulating that he'd skipped training on the Friday. And how serious it was, I don't know. But like you said, he looked, Ben as well. He was clearly not fit for that game.
He didn't look comfortable all game.
He looked like he was labouring, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was just he won like.
But then, as I say, you can imagine. So, like, do you pick a 70% fit Bentacore or 100% Winks? Which,
oh God,
you wonder what 100% Winks is nowadays.
Yeah, but the trouble is like LJ said, he's probably had an injection or something to get him through the pain, but actually, it's probably not, it's probably not done him or us any favors because you're going to be masking it really. And okay, we've got now the time that we've got between Brentford on Saturday evening, but I still think everyone would pick a 10% fit Bentancur over 100% fit Winks. Or change it up, up. And but obviously we know Conte likes this system, and it's very hard to change the system because obviously you've then got Mora, you've got Stevie B on the bench.
I think the only thing I think Saturday, even though we didn't really have injuries, even though we were carrying a knock or two. I think Saturday showed more than any other week how weak our squad is.
Yeah.
I think definitely. It really proved how weak our squad was, and that it definitely needs. I mean, they made a change at halftime, brought Welbeck on. To be honest with you, I'm shocked that he never brought either. I mean, I would have taken Kulu off just for the fact that I think because of his reaction and got yellow, I think one more silly little challenge, like just even a foul, he would have actually seen red. So he lost a big part of his game because he can be physical and he shows his physicality in the game, whereas it got to a stage where he couldn't put in a challenge because I think he would have gone. So I think I'd like to have seen Bergwijn come on in the second half. Or I don't think Moore was a good choice.
Yeah, I mean, I think do we need to worry about Kulu's temperament, or was it just ginger rage? I mean, just before we get onto that, Mark, Al, I get your point. I mean, look, they changed it up because I think Graham Potter realised that one more tackle from Mwepu and he was off. So that was why he got taken off. Like you said, we haven't got anything. I mean, I would have, for me, I would have probably gone 5 into midfield and pushed Kane up top, just to break that up second half, and then that would have taken Kulusevski off, because he was ineffective after that, because I think he was kind of worried that something, like you said, if he'd done something else, then he was off, and there was a couple of it was getting a bit feisty in the way that the game was being. Ben, LJ, can you start that? We'll come to that comment in a bit about Winks and his Twitter and everything else. So, what do you think about Kulu's temperament, or was it just a bit of ginger rage? He's not been fired up, Mark. What do you think?
Well, it's the first we've seen of it. I mean, if we'd seen it every game, if we'd have seen him do it every game, that would have been different. But he normally just sets them up and scores, and but it's the first time we've really seen him swing at anybody, isn't it? So, I mean, I'd let him off, to be honest. All right, it was dangerous and he could have got himself sent off, but it's just one of them things, isn't it?
I think it was a case of Cucurella who'd been tapping around his ankles here and there. And he was tapping around his ankles at the time, which actually made him do it. It wasn't. Cucurella weren't making a foul, but he was making sure that he knew he was there. I think in the end, and what was it, 15, 20 minutes in when it happened? It was a case of it was quite early, and it was a case of, to be honest with you, I think that was one of Kulu's first real involvements. He went for a ball but never got to it early on. But to me, as I say, I think that was a case of not being. He just retaliated. He was retaliating to a little bit of needleness, and
it was frustration, wasn't it? It was just frustration.
Yeah,
I mean, how long was it into the game, Bell? It weren't long into the game, was it? 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, something like that. 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I think for me, I think it. I think it was just. I think it just because it was a frustrating. We hadn't gone and got that early goal. It was frustrating. The players were getting frustrated, and it kind of. I don't want to say because it was warm as well, because that's just making excuses. I guess it was maybe the first sign of a bit of pressure being applied, and we had that chance to go and get 6 points ahead of Arsenal, and we kind of were Spursy, that ultimately, I think.
Yeah. I've seen that word all over social media. The Spursy word is back.
Yeah, well, we never had an attempt we never even had an attempt on target, did we? I mean, Kane's 30-yard long-range pass back was even off target.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the most shocking thing.
And I think for me, the one person that looked like he was trying to do something, if we take the front two, was Kane and Son. Was Son. I was surprised that he came off for Stevie B. Did he come off? For Mora. Sorry.
Yeah.
I would have took Kane off. Well, I would have took Kane off. Kane did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he didn't look. He didn't look like, for me, he didn't look like he was dropping back into those positions. Yeah. And whether that
had a couple of
because when he did, Basuma was. I must admit, when he did try and drop back, that's where they used their third man, Basuma. Marked him because Basuma got a booking through what he'd done to Kane. So
I reckon he had a couple of sneaky rounds round Augusta.
we'll come to that. We'll come to that in a minute once we've just finished. But just going back to, I guess for me it was kind of just disappointing. No shots on target, no real threat, no real attacking threat. Like you said, Al, Basuma, so when he did try and drop back, and part of me also was like, there was a bit of selfishness, I think, from Kane on Saturday, where he was like, oh, everyone's talking about me not scoring and dropping back. Oh, I'm not going to drop back. I'm going to try and, be the one that scores. And ultimately it affected the overall team performance. That's what I think. But going back to Ben's point about Winks going after fans on Twitter, unfollowing Spurs on Instagram.
Did he?
Yeah. That came out this morning. So someone had put and he blocked someone on Twitter, and it said, "Oh, that's the most blocks that someone had retweeted." It went, "Oh, that's the most blocks that Harry Winks has done all season." Ben thinks the sun shines out of his back, or Ben thinks that Winks thinks the sun shines out of his backside. So what does he? I don't really know. I don't think. Does he think that he should be playing? Does he think that he's better than he is? I don't know.
Well, he must do, surely, though. He must do. I mean, we all know he's not good enough, and he's been given Lord knows how many chances. And all the disastrous results we've had, like when we lost in that conference, I forget the teams, Pakistan Ferreira won it, and somebody else, and he's played all of them games.
It was
he's played all of them games. He has played all of them games.
Yeah.
He was even on the pitch against Morecambe, wasn't he, in the FA Cup?
Yeah. But he scored a goal. He scored a goal against them, didn't he?
Yeah. And they had to bring the big lads up to get us out the crap then.
Yeah. I think for me, the moment Winks came on, the game was done. I didn't expect anything.
I knew it. I knew it. We were doing a watch along, and I only joined at half time. And as soon as I saw Winks coming on, I thought, right, that's the end of it. That is the end of it. Because he's not better than anything else we've got in there.
No.
And that is the one position we need to strengthen in the summer. We need some more midfielders in.
When I see Winks on the sideline, I was just praying that Bentancur was okay. And perhaps he's going to give Højbjerg a rest, because even Højbjerg, I mean, he was even though he tried to create a few things, he was also very slow in the middle. I mean, he got robbed taking the ball out of defence and not passing it. But I think there's just like a movement and everything.
Yeah.
of movement.
Yeah, it was. Well, the first half was the worst. We did sort of liven up in the second half. I thought at least we were sort of going forward a bit more.
Yeah,
I think we'd have been. I think we'd have
in
been. I think we'd have been
Sorry,
better if we'd. I think we'd been better if we'd actually conceded early. I think that might have woke them up and thought they've got to try. Because the only time we sort of seemed as though we had any kind of urgency and tried to play was when we were 1-0 down with 5 minutes left.
Yeah, it was a bit late by then.
And Bergwijn had that chance, and 8 yards out, and he had more time and just snapped at it. And well, he should be at least hitting the target. Al, your thoughts on Kane? Sluggish due to the Augusta trip and jet lag, or the Brighton keeper landing on his ankle? So,
well, I don't think the Brighton keeper landing on his ankle done him many favours anyway. But he didn't really do a lot before then. I just don't think it. Not being funny, right? I mean, because I love golf. I love golf myself. Yeah, I can't play anymore, but I love golf, right? But he's going to have a long time retired in his life that he's going to be able to go and visit Augusta. Yeah. He's going to have a lot of time in his life to be able to go and visit there and watch the whole tournament. Yeah. So why he needed to just go out there after, an important. We've just had a heads lifted through winning a game which we won 4-0, which we could have lost because we weren't brilliant that day, apart from the second half in Villa. Yeah, but he could have. I don't know what time was. I mean, he must have flown out after the game.
I would have said virtually straight away.
Straight away. So he must have gone from Birmingham Airport to. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know I don't know whether Joe Lewis lent him his private jet or what.
He wouldn't have got on a chartered plane. Let's just put it that way, would he?
Yeah, no, he wouldn't have got private, and it would have been. I mean, don't get me wrong, it would have been first class, and he made sure arrested and this and else. But then he's gone there. Now, if they're given a couple of days off, he spent his whole one day off watching the Masters. He's followed the golf for 4.5 hours, 5 hours. I doubt he's jumped on a plane straight away that night. He's mostly travelled the next morning. So he's mostly messed up his flight, and he's got 3 young kids at home. Yeah. Right. So they're going to want to spend some time with Daddy when he's not on his last day off. So he mostly never had. I don't think it was a wise choice. I'm not saying he was. I don't think he was the worst person on the pitch because, to be honest with you, none of them were good enough to be the worst.
No.
You know what I mean? To be honest with you, it was a case of.
What time did we kick off that Villa game?
We kicked off at 5:30.
On the Saturday or the Sunday?
Yeah,
on the
Saturday night. Saturday night.
Yeah, so he's pretty much So he's finished. Like you said, he's finished. Got over there, done his warm down, done whatever he's done.
Yeah, he's had a shower, had his warm down. Say 9 o'clock.
So 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, got on a plane.
Yeah,
landed
there near enough the same time, like he's taken off, whatever, because like the
so
time difference.
Was it probably 6-7 hours difference? So it's.
But Georgia's roughly Florida area, isn't it? It's sort of down the south area. Yeah. So you can say that's what 7-hour flight, 8-hour flight.
Yeah.
He must have flew overnight and slept on his private plane.
Yeah.
Well, put it this way. I like the golf. And I watched the Masters Sunday just to see who wins. I couldn't believe it when Harry Kane rocked up in the studio. I thought it was one of them bloody green screen things. I thought, what's he doing over there?
I thought it was Iggy and his green screen.
Yeah. Honestly, I could not believe that. I was like, well, surely Conte don't know about that. He'd have been furious.
Well, I don't know. Look, I think. Look, if we'd won, I don't think. I think, like Alan said, it was, and you said, Mark, it was unwise. But I don't think. Look, if we'd won against Brighton, I don't think people would be coming out in their droves going, "What's happened? What's this? What's that?" What I do think is that Conte gave him a couple of days off. Obviously, he gave him yesterday off, but he gave him a couple of days off. But he certainly He's not going to be doing that between now and the end of the season, right? He gave them an inch, and by the looks of it, they took a mile.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say a couple of days off, you go and put your feet up and have a rest. You don't jump on a plane and go to watch bloody golf.
Yeah, but
You know what
look,
I mean?
come on. I think we also need to remember that these guys are human. They've got a very unique schedule.
Well, put it this way.
I think. Look, there was a lot. I know Bob Spur was talking about it as well, and I know a lot of people going, they're going to the Masters, going doing this, going doing that.
Yeah.
I think that all disappears if we beat Brighton, right? Because everyone's no one's going to say anything.
Yeah.
And yes, the choices of a top athlete going into a business end of the season, that's not. I agree, it's not the wise choice. No. But I think we're kind of. We're kind of thinking of reasons. What was the reason? Oh, it was Kane. Oh, it was Son. Oh, we're Tottenham. We're Harry Kane FC. We're this. We're that. All of the box that we kind of shut in the last few weeks has just kind of been reopened, and everyone's just trying to drag onto it, maybe for their own agenda, or maybe just to create a bit of noise.
I think
for me, go on, Al.
I think myself. I think when it comes to if you come to marking the team, I mean, everyone was literally a 2. You know what I mean? There was no one there there was no one player that made a standout performance. The defence done their job. Romero was his usual bullish self, but no one in that team deserved a rating of over 2 because no one worked hard enough to try and create and do anything to. It was a poor performance. Very poor performance.
It was, and I think it's not a lot. Like, I know a lot of people are thinking. I just think we just need to not dwell on it. We need to focus, and I'm sure they're not. I'm sure all the players are back there today, and Conte is going to be absolutely getting them through their paces. And, they're going to be feeling it today. So we just need to focus on it, like I said a few weeks ago, game by game. Yeah. We do need to believe. I think we do need to have that positive attitude that we are going to get top 4, that we are going to do all these things, but we just need to still take it game by game. Again, Liverpool will be the marker. There's other things that are going to happen. Obviously, Leicester are still in there. Europa Conference League,
which is good. Their semi-final with sandwich between them. So
so they've obviously got one eye on that.
Who are they playing? Who are they playing in the semi? Do we know?
I can't remember.
I don't know.
No. West Ham have got the team that beat Barcelona.
Because I know Roma were in that. I know Roma were in that group, so I didn't know whether if they've got Roma, then at least they're going to have a tough opponent, which means they're going to have to play a strong.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a semi-final of a European competition, so you can't sit there and say, oh, it's I mean, look, if you look at the Champions League semi-final, right, I'm damn sure that they wouldn't want Villarreal in it, so.
No,
or UEFA wouldn't want Villarreal in it, but look, it's an elite competition.
So they got Roma. John just said Roma.
So they're not gonna,
So they're not going to take it easy. They're not going to have an easy game. No. Which is going to, so at the end of the day,
West Ham are playing Eintracht Frankfurt, who for me absolutely schooled Barcelona. So it's there's
I couldn't believe that.
I think the only downside of that one though is that their game sandwiched between their 2 semi-finals is Arsenal, so that could go against us where we might have hoped that they might nick a point off of Arsenal.
But Arsenal are playing what they're playing Chelsea on Tuesday and then United on Saturday before we play Brentford. So look, I don't see how they go and get anything from Chelsea, and actually for us probably the United game it would be better that we get a draw. They get a draw.
Although to be honest with you, if Man U gets stuffed by Liverpool, then a draw still helps us. But if Man U gets stuffed by Liverpool, then I don't think it would hurt too much if Man United beat Arsenal, because we'd have a game in hand over Man U. Even though
that's who I worry about, Alan. I worry about Man U now because they're I get it. They only just got through bottom of the table Norwich, but if if Cristiano Ronaldo is playing every game between now and the end of the season, then they're the ones that we need to worry about. I don't think we need to worry about Arsenal. West Ham obviously got a draw, so you can kind of rule them out. I think it's between us and Man U, really, realistically. But again, Liverpool, Man U on Wednesday as well.
Yeah.
So there's going to be twists and turns. Morning, Sophie. I hope you've got all your jobs done that you had to do on Saturday. And Iggy, I hope you've cut the grass, mate. So otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. But yeah, look, I think we just need to focus on us. I think if we start getting too ahead of ourselves, this football team and these bunch of players, like Stel always says, will always let us down if we start dreaming and looking at when we're going to be playing next season and everything else. We just need to get through to Liverpool. Because it's Leicester again. You don't know what Leicester are going to turn up, and we just need to just focus on.
We do normally beat them though, Leicester.
Yeah.
We got a very good record against Leicester.
I mean, I think my biggest worry at the moment, the two games I'm more worried about than any of them, is Brentford next week.
Yeah,
and Liverpool away. I mean, as I say,
Brentford are no mugs, especially at their place.
No.
There's certainly no mugs.
No.
Yeah, so we just need to. I think we just need to wait and see. Conte's got them now, 5 days before game day, and then we just need to see what happens. Hopefully, Bentancur comes out okay and is better, and they have a good week in training, and then we go from there. Moving on, I guess the back pages. So as we're coming close to the hour mark, and we want these lovely people to get on there. So I guess looking at what I've found. So I guess the Barcelona, apparently, I don't know how, because they got no money, but Barcelona will do everything they can to sign Lewandowski in the summer, as his deal's running out in Germany, or running out next year. Manchester United legend Jaap Stam has warned incoming boss Erik ten Hag about the pressure at Old Trafford, and says winning the league is an expectation at the club. This just shows how ridiculous football is. Cristiano Ronaldo will receive a bonus of £850,000 following his hat-trick in Man U's win against Norwich. I mean, that's just obscene. Man United's plans to revamp Old Trafford are set to concentrate on extending the Sir Bobby Charlton stand with an extra 15,000 seats, taking the capacity to 80,000 at a cost of 200 million. So I don't know whether you saw that in the week that they've appointed the team behind Spurs' stadium to consult on redeveloping Old Trafford. This one, I think the next thing that's come out is an absolute joke, but Premier League clubs have been sent proposals which could see the introduction of half-time interviews with managers and coaching staff during live match broadcasts from next season. So,
what?
I mean, obviously that's more for the bloody entertainment.
Yeah. It's getting like NFL, isn't it?
They want it to be.
We'll have a half-time show soon, and someone coming on.
Yeah, Janet Jackson and that dancing and singing.
Janet Jackson with her boob falling out.
Yeah. and missing the open goal.
Yeah. Thanks, Paddy, for clearing that up. They got it from the money from the naming rights for the stadium. Barcelona are considering a €30 million swoop for Manchester City striker Gabriel Jesus. Bayern Munich have ruled out going for Erling Haaland. What else is happening? Newcastle are desperate to win the race to sign Benfica, and Arsenal target Darwin Núñez, and apparently have reportedly tabled a 50 million bid. Everyone was saying about... Sorry?
He looked pretty good against Liverpool last week.
Yeah, and people were talking about us going in for him, but they were potentially looking for nearly double that. So I don't know whether Newcastle have tried to get in a step ahead. I'm a little bit confused though, because we haven't really had much noise around us. There's 11 days until the season ticket deadline day closes. So
it'll be this week then the summit comes out. It'll be this week. There's
going to be loads. I mean, there was there was the talk of Gareth Bale signing a pre-contract agreement to come back, and there was also the talk of, and I think it's in here or it's the next point that we come to, that Tottenham are keeping an eye on Christian Eriksen as well. Two players that were coming on a free. For me, I think they 100% they improve our squad. I don't think they're starters, but I think with 20 minutes to go, if you're bringing on, Saturday's game, if you're bringing on Eriksen and Bale with 20 minutes to go, they're certainly doing more than a Moura and a Bergwijn. And I remember that first Brighton game when we spent most of the game camped in their half, and Eriksen scored that goal in the 87th minute to win the game 1-0.
I was there. That was the opening year. That's what season the stadium opened, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was right behind it. It was lovely.
Erik ten Hag reportedly wants the Manchester United board to be heavily involved in every single transfer to ensure all previous mistakes are avoided. So I think by the looks of it that Ten Hag is on the way to United, but I guess where does that leave Poch? Because the chances are he's leaving PSG in the summer.
Let's see what happens by July the 1st, because I think Conte. I think if we haven't done a bit of business by then, I think Conte might even say, "Fuck you."
Goodbye.
I mean, because he won't want to go into pre-season. Conte will not want to go into pre-season without having the team that he expects to compete for the season. And our biggest problem we're going to have is we need 5 or 6 signings really to make that squad look strong.
Yes.
And you're going to have 2 extra names on the bench next year because you're going to have a choice of 5 subs. Well, be honest with you, I don't think if we had 7 names, 2 extra names on there, like the weekend just gone, whose names would have appeared, because we only had 2 senior players really on it.
So, this is where we fall down. But this is where we fall down when you look at the likes of, you look at the game, Chelsea yesterday, who they brought on, and they can bring on, and Man City.
Oh yeah.
Them team, there's like a few £100 million worth sat on the bench. We've got some 19-year-olds.
Yeah, but I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I say, I think I'd love to see back. I mean, I'm quite a new Leviator, but at the end of the day, we was never going to spend the money we needed to during the stadium build. Then we were hit with COVID. So but what I was annoyed about in this January was the fact that we should have had players in by the first week, because we needed players. We should have got 4 players in instead of 2.
You've certainly got to replace the ones that are leaving. Because we were like -2, even though the ones that left weren't, nobody wanted them here anyway. But you certainly got to replace the numbers that leave.
So just one thing before we get on to the point. I think it was brought up on Spurs Suasion yesterday. I don't know by who. Alan, maybe you can confirm or deny who brought that up. But
I can't remember. Someone just mentioned about. I think someone mentioned in the comments that Joe Lewis's daughter likes football. So it was just saying something like that. And I just confirmed that what I'd heard from the past was that she likes football a hell of a lot more than her dad does. So if anything happened to Joe Lewis, then who knows whether his daughter would get involved or not. I don't know if there's a picture of her in the crowd or something yesterday or over the weekend or something. I thought I see someone put a picture up of her in the crowd.
She got a ticket on Ticket Exchange late Saturday morning.
No, but someone put a picture of. I thought it was a picture of her in the crowd. I don't know. I only just caught it at a quick glance. But at the end of the day, sort of like if she likes football, because Joe Lewis couldn't give a shit about football.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think he has a lot more say than what we know of. I think his involvement is a lot more. I mean, he must be involved in some way, because otherwise it's pointless. It's pointless leaving, getting on a plane, going out to talk to him about finances, because they've already made it clear they're not going to use their own money. So
yeah,
I don't know. So at the end of the day, God, what's he?
So, Al, where, what Alatici, give us a quick update before we wrap up and talk about the game on Saturday.
Well, what you mean about any news people coming on the shows?
Yes, on Thursday's show.
Well, as far as I know, I think we've got Graham Roberts coming on the in June. The 19th.
June or May?
Not May, 19th of May. I think you've got him coming on the 19th of May. That's as far as I know.
Okay, so you need to get some work, do some work like all the scouts in doing. As you saw, we just touched on this. Resin Ruins, the Hot Chip Challenge. 471 subscribers incoming. What challenge should Al do when we get to 500 subs? Let's have your thoughts in the comments. What do you reckon, Mark? What should we get Al doing? Tattoos?
Well, I see Alan on a lot of streams. I mean, the poor man can't do a lot, can he?
No.
Can you, Al?
No, can't do a lot, mate.
No.
I can't do a lot. No.
So, Al, what can you do?
Yeah.
I can swear. I can swear a bit more, or something, you know.
Okay. We don't want that. Not for the younger audience. 2 chips, 1 out. Coover says.
Cool.
After seeing Rez go through that on Thursday night, it for me it got through the. At first it was funny, and then I was starting to get more and more worried.
I don't think I laughed through the whole lot.
I was expecting blue lights outside his window.
Yeah,
you see out his window when he. Yeah, I was expecting blue lights to turn up outside.
Yeah, I mean, I think the funny point was, I think afterwards he said, he that's a good one, Ben. I like that. I think he said afterwards, I was nearly sick, and I was thinking,
I thought that
it wasn't going to be it wasn't going to be good view for him, but for the viewers and subscribers, it'd have been great. Paddy Hartnett, dye his hair blue live on air.
Yeah, I've got a bit dark, Paddy. Not a lot.
That could be one. I like that. I like that one, Paddy. I like that.
That's not really suffering, is it? That's nothing to suffer about.
I don't think
I can shave it off the day after, can't I?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's any real punishment for Al, because he'll only talk about it for about the next 6 months. Look at what those fuckers made me do on shelf side, because we got to 500. So I don't know, 500. We're not that far from 500, and Rez is doing another watch along. I reckon for 1,000. I reckon I might be up for something, but we'll have to wait and see. I know Tommy has said, "How have I got away with it for so long?" And I think I'm the next. Sophie, dye his hair red.
Cool.
Sorry, Al, what were you saying?
I'm trying to work out how John escapes doing anything. Just because he's like the director. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean
unfortunately it's his show, Al, so he can say what goes and what doesn't go. So anyway, for all those, obviously we haven't mentioned it, for all those in the comments, please gently caress that like button. Obviously share it with your friends, get them to subscribe and turn that notification bell on so you know when we go live. Obviously we have our Monday show, Tottenham Tea and Toast, with Al and Bow, and today Mal, as Coover said in the comments, and then our regular show on Thursdays at 7:00, Shelfside Spurs show with Johnny, Rez, myself, Al, and whoever else wants to pop in and join us, as well as special guests if Al pulls his finger out. Otherwise, he's going to be doing a challenge. There won't be any. There won't be anything. So, Mark, thanks for coming on today. Your final thoughts for Brentford and where can we find you?
Well, let's face it, we must win Brentford now. Although I personally think that's going to be an even tougher game than Brighton, because they're no mugs at home. I mean, they beat Arsenal in the first game of the season, and they've had some good results at their place.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. What do you reckon?
as
What do you
long
reckon the score will be?
my heart is saying like 4-1, 5-1.
What,
But
Brentford?
my head is saying I'll take a 1-0.
Yeah. And where can we find you, Mark, apart from in the pub?
No. I don't say that anymore.
Oh, okay.
No, well, I still say it, but Tottenham Tantrum Gold tomorrow, I think.
What
I haven't
time?
spoken to Dermot. It's about 1 o'clock-ish. 1 o'clock-ish, I think, because Bobby's coming on and he's 5 hours behind.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Mark. Al, score predictions for Brentford?
Do I change it?
1-0, Kane, 96th minute.
Yeah, but do I change it now? Because it's gone against us. 2-1 at Spurs. 2-1 at Spurs.
I'm just gonna go 1-0 and 3 points. I don't care what the score is. I don't care anymore what the score is.
Yeah.
Whatever happens is 3 points. That's all we need. So thank you to everyone in the chat. Kuva, Ben, Paddy, Sophie, Daryl, John Fitzpatrick, Mark was in the comments earlier. And then he came and joined us. Spurs Talk Show, Mr. Butler. Kuva's 5 hours behind and he's in the UK. Ben, I think that's everyone that's been here. Thanks for joining us. And you can catch us all on Thursday. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.